Disclaimer. This podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only and is not intended to provide medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult your healthcare professional before starting any new supplement or peptide therapy. Hey everyone! Welcome back to the Peptide Effect. Today's episode is a special one. Happy Veterans Day to all who've served. Whether you wore the uniform for 4 years or 20, whether you served overseas or at home, today is for you. We're diving into something that truly matters: how peptides can support veterans who deal with chronic pain, post-traumatic stress, sleep problems, inflammation, and the long-term wear and tear that comes with service. First, let's talk about why this conversation matters. Many veterans face complex challenges when they return home: physical injuries that never fully healed, traumatic brain injuries from blasts or impact, chronic stress, disrupted hormones, and fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. Traditional medicine often manages symptoms, but it rarely restores balance or heals from the inside out. Peptides, on the other hand, work with your body's own systems to repair and regulate rather than just cover things up. Let's start with one of my favorites for tissue healing and inflammation, BPC-157. BPC stands for Body Protection Compound, and it's naturally found in the gastric juices of your stomach. It's been shown to dramatically speed up recovery from injuries, reduce inflammation in tendons and joints, and even help repair gut lining. For veterans dealing with chronic back pain, joint damage, or digestive issues from stress and medication, BPC-157 is a game changer. I've seen people bounce back from old injuries that they thought were permanent. It's often injected subcutaneously near the area of pain or injury, or taken orally in capsule form, though injections are generally more potent. Now let's pair that with TB-500, also known as Thymosin beta-4. It's another powerhouse healing peptide that helps with muscle and connective tissue regeneration. When used alongside BPC-157, it amplifies recovery and promotes new blood vessel growth. That's important for veterans who've had surgeries, old fractures, or chronic pain that limits movement. The combo of BPC-157 and TB-500 is often called the recovery stack, and it's one of the best for anyone dealing with pain or inflammation. Let's switch gears and talk about the brain. Veterans often experience anxiety, depression, or cognitive fog after years of stress or trauma. Two peptides that shine here are Semax and Selank. Semax enhances brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which supports memory, learning, and mood stability. It's used in Russia as a nootropic and neuroprotective therapy. Selank works differently. It reduces anxiety and stabilizes emotional balance without sedation or addiction risk. Together, they make a great pair for calming the nervous system and improving focus. Semax is especially beneficial for veterans who've experienced traumatic brain injury or cognitive fatigue. It helps oxygenate and protect brain tissue while improving neurotransmitter balance. Many users describe feeling clearer, calmer, and more motivated. Selank, on the other hand, has strong anti-anxiety properties and can help with social withdrawal and hypervigilance. For those struggling with PTSD symptoms or chronic stress, these two peptides can be life-changing. Another peptide worth mentioning is Thymosin Alpha-1. This one works primarily on the immune system. It helps the body fight infection, reduce inflammation, and regulate immune function. For veterans exposed to toxins, chronic infections, or long-term stress that suppress their immune health, Thymosin Alpha-1 can restore balance. It's also been studied for its antiviral and anti-cancer effects. Many integrative clinics use it as a foundational peptide for immune support and inflammation control. Now, let's move into energy and mitochondrial health, because fatigue is one of the most common complaints among veterans. Years of high stress, disrupted sleep, poor diet, and environmental exposure can drain the body's cellular energy systems. That's where MOS-C and NAD+ come in. MOS-C is a mitochondrial peptide that helps the body use glucose and fat for energy more efficiently. It also enhances endurance, metabolic flexibility, and recovery from fatigue. Veterans dealing with chronic exhaustion or metabolic sluggishness may find that MOS-C helps reboot their system from the inside out. NAD+ is another heavy hitter. It's not technically a peptide, but it's essential for energy production and cellular repair. NAD+ levels drop with age, stress, and toxin exposure, things that veterans often face at higher levels. Restoring NAD+ through IV therapy, injections, or precursors like NMN can improve mental clarity, stamina, and resilience. Combined with MOS-C, it can make a noticeable difference in mood, focus, and physical performance. Let's not forget about GHK-Cu, also known as copper peptide. This one supports skin, hair, and tissue regeneration, but it also has systemic benefits for inflammation and wound healing. Veterans with old scars, burns, or skin injuries may find it helps restore normal tissue and improve appearance. Some even use GHK-Cu in topical serums or creams for scar reduction, but it also has deeper healing properties at the cellular level. For those dealing with nerve pain or autoimmune-related issues after service, ARA 290 is another peptide worth mentioning. It binds to the innate repair receptor, helping to calm inflammation and promote nerve repair. It's been studied for conditions like neuropathy, multiple sclerosis, and chronic pain syndromes. Veterans who have nerve damage from injury or surgery may benefit from its restorative effects without the side effects of traditional pain medication. Now, let's talk about hormonal balance. Many veterans, especially men over 40, deal with low testosterone, poor recovery, and mood changes after years of stress and physical strain. Peptides like ipamorelin, CJC, 1295, and tesamorelin can stimulate natural growth hormone release. This helps rebuild muscle, reduce fat, and improve recovery. Unlike synthetic growth hormone, these peptides work through your body's own regulatory systems, so they're gentler and safer when used responsibly. Ipamorelin is especially known for improving sleep quality and recovery without large spikes in cortisol. CJC 1295 extends the release of growth hormone over several hours, leading to steady improvement in energy, skin elasticity, and overall vitality. Tesamorelin can also help reduce visceral fat, which is especially helpful for veterans dealing with metabolic slowdown or insulin resistance after years of high stress and irregular sleep. Let's shift to something a bit deeper: mental health and emotional regulation. PTSD, anxiety, and depression can feel like invisible wounds that don't heal with time. The brain's stress response gets stuck in overdrive. Peptides like DSIP or delta sleep-inducing peptide help calm the nervous system and improve deep sleep. Good sleep is the foundation for healing physically, emotionally, and cognitively. When you finally start getting restorative sleep, everything else begins to fall into place. KPV is another small but mighty peptide that helps control inflammation in the gut and skin. For veterans with digestive problems linked to stress, trauma, or long-term medication use, KPV can help restore balance and reduce systemic inflammation. Gut health is often overlooked in the recovery process, but it's deeply tied to mood, energy, and immunity. Some veterans have also found benefit from using peptides that improve circulation and cardiovascular resilience. For example, PT-141, while more commonly known for libido enhancement, can also improve vascular tone and blood flow, which can have broader benefits for overall wellness and energy. Now, let's take a moment to think about what all these peptides have in common. They don't override your system, they support it. They help restore what's been worn down by years of service, stress, and sacrifice. Whether it's rebuilding tissue, calming the brain, balancing hormones, or enhancing energy, peptides help the body remember how to heal itself. That's what makes them so powerful for veterans who've spent years putting their bodies on the line. Of course, these compounds aren't magic bullets. They work best when combined with good nutrition, consistent movement, quality sleep, and stress management. They're tools, not shortcuts, but when used properly, they can be transformative. Now, let's touch on something personal. Many veterans struggle to find doctors who take their concerns seriously or who understand the complexity of what they're experiencing. The traditional medical system often looks at symptoms in isolation. Peptide therapy, especially when guided by an integrative practitioner, approaches the body as a connected system. You're not just treating pain or fatigue, you're optimizing cellular communication, immune balance, and regeneration. If you're listening and wondering where to start, I'd suggest beginning with foundational peptides like BPC-157, TB-500, and Thymosin Alpha-1 for healing and immune regulation. From there, you can layer in cognitive support like Semax and Selank, or energy boosters like MOS-C and NAD+. Always start slow, monitor how you feel, and work with someone experienced in peptide protocols. Another key point for veterans is mental resilience. Peptides can support the biochemical side of healing, but connection and community do the rest. Pair these therapies with counseling, mindfulness, or peer support. Healing happens when the body and mind work together. Peptides can open the door, but it's your habits, mindset, and environment that sustain the change. Let's circle back for a quick summary. For injury and inflammation, BPC-157 and TB-500. For brain and mood, Semax and Selank. For immune balance, Thymosin Alpha-1. For energy, MOS-C and NAD+. For skin and tissue, GHKCU. For nerve repair, ARA 290. For sleep and stress, DSIP and KPV. And for hormone and metabolism support, CJC 1295, ipamorelin or tesamorelin. Each one has a specific role, but together they form a toolbox for restoration. If you're a veteran listening today, I just want to say thank you. Your service, your sacrifice, and your resilience deserve more than just medication and symptom management. You deserve real healing. You deserve to feel strong, focused, and alive again. Peptides aren't the only path, but they're one of the most promising tools we have right now to rebuild what's been lost. Disclaimer: this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes only. It is not intended to provide medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. Always consult with a qualified healthcare professional before starting any new supplement, peptide, or medication. Happy Veterans Day, and thank you for your service. Thanks for listening, keep learning, and stay curious.